blending a tradition rich in memories with innovation and the latest in television technology. Great moments come alive on NBC Sports.
This afternoon from beautiful Hilton Head, South Carolina, 17-year-old Soviet Natalia Zvereva, after yesterday's upset win over Martina Navratilova, battles the women's #1 player, Steffi Graf, in the final of the Family Circle Cup. Then on Sports World, last year's defending...
1986 finals of the Family Circle Cup, and 16-year-old Steffi Graf still in search of her first pro championship. Graf's opponent in the final, 8-time Family Circle champion Chris Evert in the far court. This is match point, a long rally, and the tennis ingenue Graf battling the veteran Evert on Chris's favorite surface, clay, stroke for stroke. A pro since she was 13, Graf would register her initial pro title, offering Evert and a sellout crowd at Sea Pines Plantation an early hint at what her future impact on tennis would be. The final winning point set up by the forehand, and a blast and a 16-year-old blush in victory. Father Peter Graf's daughter began her $1 million march. Yesterday, Graf, now the #1 play in the world, in the near court in the semifinals against Spain's Arantxa Sanchez. Graf's brilliant forehand took Sanchez's best and blasted winners. Now in the far court, the 19-year-old Grand Slam and Olympic champion of last year, such a complete player, showed Sanchez she can beat her with power or finesse. Undefeated in 1989, Graf in straight sets scored her 26th consecutive win. Her opponent in today's Family Circle final, 17-year-old Soviet Natalia Zvereva, who rudely dismissed Martina Navratilova in yesterday's semis. In the near court, Zvereva ran down the best the favorite Navratilova could offer, punctuating winners with squeals of delight. The #2 player in the world, frustrated, was talking to herself. And Zvereva seemed to be saying on this day, you can spell Zvereva with a capital Z. While Graf's forehand is her top weapon, Zvereva in the near court has one of the best backhands in the game, and she uses it in many ways. Martina tried, but failed to keep the ball away from Zvereva's strength. The result, fatal for Navratilova. Still in the near court, watch this one. The shot of the tournament. Zvereva's answer to basketball's two-hand stuff. Zvereva, resounding win, 6-1 in the third. So in today's final, #1 unbeaten and unbeatable, Steffi Graf faces the challenge of the #9 player in the world, Natalia Zvereva of the Soviet Union. For the finals at center court, Sea Pines Plantation, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, the 17th annual Family Circle Cup Championship. Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard to Kenburg with Joanne Russell and Bud Collins, a battle of teenagers. This is the youngest ever matchup in this tournament's history, a 17-year-old against a 19-year-old. Goodness, 3 years ago, it was 16-year-old Graf against Chris Evert. Everett wondered, well, could she give Evert a match? She beat her that day, and now the question is, can anyone beat Steffi Graf, who has relinquished only one set in 26 match wins this year of 1989. Joanne Russell, how about Zvereva? How does she give her a good match?
Well, Zvereva's got to do the thing that Chris Evert did this year to win that one set. She played Graf's backhand until there was nothing left. I mean, it was just a few points here and there in that match that gave it to Graf in the Virginia Slims of Florida 3 weeks ago. So Zvereva's got to get her topspin backhand working and play Graf's backhand until she can't play it anymore. and maybe she has a chance.
And she has to erase the memories of a year ago in the French Open when Graf rolled her out of Roland Garros 6-love, Bud.
Well, talking about Zvereva's problems, Comrade Enberg, I must now make a plea to you, Comrade Mikhail Gorbachev, in the spirit of glasnost and perestroika. Be fair. Let the kid keep her money. Now, by that I mean the Russian players. Their prize money goes directly to the Soviet Federation, which sends back merely expenses. Now, Natalia Zvereva is one of the best ambassadors Russia has. Let's change that system, comrade.
$24,000 she's already earned. If she wins today, the champion takes home $60,000. She just gets a little spending money of $25 to $50 a day. Not enough, says Bud Collins. Not enough. It's $60,000 to the winner today. The backhand is Zvereva matched against the forehand of the #1 player in the world, Steffi Graf. The opening serve coming up from Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Steffi Graf, who plays in a hurry, she's out there and going, and we've already had the opening serve and a return, and then Graf hitting it wide, love 15. Zvereva in the near court in the bright pink shirt.
15 all.
Chair umpire is Bunny Williams. Since she won here 3 years ago, almost to the day, only 4 women in tennis have beaten Graf: Navratilova, Sabatini, Mandlikova, and Shriver. That's how she has dominated her sport.
And Dick, since she walked onto the court in '86 to play Mercedes Paz in the first round, she has won 226 of 234 matches. That's batting .965.
Backhand. 30-15.
Ranked 9th in the world, 10-4, and a rather mediocre start here in 1989 for Zvereva, especially in contrast to the 26-0 record of Graf. Who just seems to have all the weaponry, Bud.
40-15.
She does, but I hope that Zvereva on that second point realized that she can attack Graf. She mishit an overhead.
Game, Graf.
Ace to win the opening game for Steffi Graf. Zvereva, who will turn 18 a week from today. Here's how she arrived at the final.
She defeated Wendy White in the first round, and then Amanda Ketzer from South Africa gave her a tough time. Lila Meshki of the Georgian part of Soviet Union. Then she defeated #2 seed Martina Navratilova.
So she beat 2 Georgians, Wendy White and Lila Meshki.
Right. Love 15.
Steffi Graf with the South African Ros Fairbank. That took over an hour, which was an upset. The 6-foot, 21-year-old Czech, Regina Radjikova. And on she went.
Zubakova.
Zubakova, Radka Zubakova, one of our favorite names. And Radka played hard but got nowhere. And yesterday, Arantxa Sanchez, put that name in your memory bank because she fought from match point down to bring it almost up to 5-all in the second set from 5-1.
Sanchez, the young sister of Emilio Sanchez, was the young woman who defeated Chris Evert in last year's French Open, and she delighted the crowd here. I mean, they left talking about her gutty play, her hustle, and her charisma on court.
She's fun to watch. 17.
Or long.
15-40.
4 tournaments, 4 titles for Graf. She's already won over $300,000 this year.
Zvereva did to Martina yesterday. She made some gets that they didn't think she was going to get. And look at that, drops right in on the baseline.
Well, that's what the camp of Zvereva hoped would not happen, that she would drop a break of service early, especially in light of what has happened to her against Graf, losing 6-love and love in Paris, and then she lost in Washington, D.C. A better match, 6-3, 6-4. That's their only 2 meetings. Wide, unlike yesterday, no wind to really bother the players, but the court is heavier, Joanne.
The court's heavier. It rained this morning. It's going to make it tough for Zverev to hit that high topspin to Graf's backhand and forehand.
I like the outlook of the fine groundsman, John Pozek. He said, "We will play today. I'll have this court ready no matter what happens."
She's got to be a little more patient, because yesterday she made a lot of passing shots. 21 out of 31 winners were passing shot winners today. She's got to win it patiently from the baseline. Graf is very patient for someone who hits an aggressive ground stroke game, but Zverev has got to be more patient.
Well, a little over a month from now, it'll be the red clay of Roland Garros, and Graf going for a 6th consecutive Grand Slam title. Three saves.
Ooh, beauty. Steffi Graf is ever so patient. She keeps slicing that backhand back until she can run around the ball and just wail on her forehand, and she has done it beautifully so far.
Nicely done. And a break point for Zvereva.
30-40. Zvereva sticks in this rally here, and her backhand, she takes a short backswing, and she has that little backhand hidden behind her. It's tough to read.
Oh, a terrific get by Zvereva, and it earns her a break back. Duran serve 2-1 Graf in the first set. So after losing her first service game, Natalia Zvereva breaks back, and now it's the Soviet serving at 1-2, and her father watching from the front rows across the way.
Marat, his first name, a teacher of tennis in the Soviet Union in Minsk. Oh-ho!
And Zvereva just keeps lugging away, playing that backhand. That extreme Western grip on the forehand works very well against Steffi, hitting it down the line.
Well, you commented yesterday, and you could see it again on that replay. Her forehand at times looks very much like Graf's, off her feet, wailing away.
Play.
Well, Olga Morozova, the national team coach, said that this is the part of her game, Zvereva's game, that she needs to work on, the volley. Graf makes a great get, but she tries to swing volley it in the air and really just needs to block it into the open court.
Tough for that grip, too, on that ball. Far different player from the one you remember in Paris. She was totally unprepared to be in that final. Unfortunately, the Soviet Federation had not sent Olga Morozova there to calm her, and she was just out of her depth in that double big one. Look at her inside the baseline.
Graf was just so patient to set up her forehand. All those backhands she hit, and then boom, she picks the right one and hits a winner.
2 break points. So on a series of service breaks, Zvereva unable to hold in this first set, and now falls behind Graf 3-1. I'll never forget in Paris, Bud, when you talked to Zvereva before that final, it was probably the most prophetic and succinct answer I've ever heard from an athlete when you said, "Do you have a chance against Graf tomorrow?" And she said, "No."
I said, "Could you reconsider that and sort of edit that answer?" No. She said, "No, I have no chance, but I've done well to get this far." But she's a different player this year, I think.
That one hit the top of the court. How about Graf? Is she a different player? Is she better than the woman who won the Golden Slam last year?
I think so.
Oh, sure. She's improved her serve.
She has indeed. And she's very definite about a need to improve on the best.
What would you say would be the odds on her winning the Grand Slam again this year? She's already got the Australian, 3 to go. 2-1, 3-1, even?
Even money, I think.
There's that serve.
She has improved her serve.
One thing about Zvereva that she's improved is she really didn't have much of a one-handed slice, and she keeps working on it, and that part of her game will get stronger and stronger. And already, that's a big difference in this match. Before, at the French, she really didn't use it.
Second ball at 30-15. Graf leading 3-1 first set. Well, that's twice that Zvereva has been patient. Hit behind Graf for a forehand winner.
Well, it's kind of scary, too, but she realized and let the ball bounce. It might have made it easier if she volleyed it.
Playing their backhand, but Graf has too many answers.
40-30. Well, what happened here was Zvereva is standing in no man's land.
No woman's land, Joanne.
I don't care. No man's land. Keep him out of there.
Well, that's hesitancy on her part.
Right.
She knows she has to go in, but she didn't go far enough.
All right.
Steffi Graf. He's lost only one set. That's to Chris Evert all year long.
Graf leads 4-1.
Hidden there in the crowd around center court. And if you see the profile, no doubt, there she is, who family that woman belongs to. That's Heidi Graf, the mother of Steffi. So much likeness there. And Father Peter.
And to his right, the coach, Pavel Sloizel, a Czechoslovak who's done wonderful work.
And an ace for Graf, her first, or for Zvereva.
Well, I talked to Pavel the other day, and I said, gee, you look in great shape. And he says, everybody around Steffi looks good. And then he said, well, I mean in shape.
She makes everyone work. Zvereva trailing 1-4 in the first.
That's it.
30-15.
She's starting to get a feel for it, Joanne. To come in with that slice backhand.
She's a very fine doubles player.
Yes.
With
Wimbledon
Larissa
finalist.
Savchenko.
In fact, last year in the finals of the doubles at Wimbledon, it went to 12-10 in the third, and it was Graf and Sabatini beating the Soviet pair, Zvereva and Savchenko. Oops.
30-40. Now that's just a little bit inexperience there. Against Graf, you're playing a great player who is the best athlete on tour, who moves the best, and you overhit. You overplay.
Change the pace. And saves a break.
Deuce.
Late on that forehand. Ooh. Just long. Second ball.
Zvereva's being run all over the place, and she just flicks that thing cross court with. She had a lot of zip on that ball.
A many-splendored weapon, the backhand of Zvereva.
With Bud Collins, Joanne Russell, Dick Enberg, Sea Pines Plantation, the 17th annual Family Circle Cup. This is the championship match, and the first double falls for Zvereva, Natalia Zvereva of the Soviet Union, at 17 in the finals for the first time. It's her first visit to Hilton Head for this championship against the #1 player in the world, Steffi Graf. Graf unbeaten in 1989. It's 4-1 Graf in the opening set. Deuce in this 6th game.
Zvereva's having to work very hard for every point.
But she's working.
Uh-oh. Oh, it stays in?
It was called fault by Steve Ulrich. I thought it might have hit the line.
So, double faults back-to-back in that ad court for Zvereva.
You can hear Bunny Williams, the umpire in the chair, saying Zvereva. She has like 19 different pronunciations of her name. I asked her, and she said Zvereva.
Zvereva, we checked that in Paris last year. And it's very easy if you put your mind to it.
Another break point for Steffi Graf as Zvereva struggling to hold serve, broken her other 2 service games in this opening set. An impeccable point played by Zvereva, hitting lines on both sidelines.
Oh, definitely. And for this one, she goes right for the line. She's not saying, well, let's hit it, you know, 2 feet inside the line. She says, I've got to go for it.
And a good serve. Game point, Zvereva.
Her exact quote yesterday when asked about the double bagel in Paris, she said, I forget about that bad thing.
Good idea.
Yep. And she is competing well right now.
For that rocket forehand of Graf in this, the longest game of this young match.
And this was not a bad second serve. Look at where Graf is standing, almost outside the doubles line. That's how quick she is.
Rolling forehand.
That was a heck of a second serve by Zvereva. That was a nice little play.
Yeah.
Caught her going the wrong way.
Natalia looking cross court.
Third break point in this game for Graf. And she has broken Zvereva again. And now will serve for the first set.
She leads 5-1.
Well, we watched her practice earlier in the week, and as she was hitting with Pavel Slozil, former Czech Davis Cupper, her coach and hitting partner, she wore a shirt, Endless Summer, surfing shirt, Endless Summer. Wasn't that a movie
Yes.
20 years ago?
Yes.
Might be prophetic for opponents this year.
Bruce Brown surfing movie.
This is before my time.
It was, Joan.
Love.
2 points from the set. That Elliot Tulcher stance on return by Zvereva.
Kathy Jordan is also like that.
40 love.
Zvereva is getting a little wild and crazy here. She can hit a better return than that.
Yeah, a little hopeless the way she's playing this game so far.
Yeah, maybe she's catching her breath.
That previous game that went to 5 deuces, I did think took something out of her. She had 3 game points.
Game in first set.
And first love game for Graf. And she, in less than a half an hour, has the first set 6-1. Unmistakably the best, Steffi Graf. 6-1 in the first set. Served well. +2 in winners. A +11 in not making mistakes. Took 26 minutes to record that first set win. If you add up all the games she has lost, just the games in 1989, it averages out, the average set is 6-2 Graf. So if you get a couple of games off her, you're doing about as well as anyone.
Zvereva definitely had a different game plan here. She comes in and makes a very fine angle volley. With that grip of hers, that's pretty tough.
It was a good play to try to bring Graf in. And I'm surprised that more of the women don't try that.
Well, you know, Graf, although she's not up there every time, she is a very aggressive volleyer. She just doesn't float her volley back. She attacks it.
She does, but I think you'd want to get her to a place she doesn't play very often.
Zvereva guessed right, was there for the forehand volley and a 40-love lead.
That's the key word there, Dick. She guessed right, because you can see she's off balance, she's diving, she's going, uh-oh, what way is she going to hit it?
Well, after dropping all 3 service games in the first set, Zvereva holds as she opens the second.
First game.
Steffi Graf to serve. We're in the second set. Graf won the opening set against Natalia Zvereva 6-1. Love won in the second. And a couple of errant shots suddenly from Graf that we didn't see in that first set.
You know, maybe she doesn't have to, she doesn't like waiting the full 90 seconds on the changeover.
15 off.
Well, when Natalia broke Graf the first time that Steffi served, that was just keeping up the pattern. She's been the serve break kid of this tournament. 27 breaks out of 40 receiving games, Leo Levin tells us, prior to the final. And of course, she became the heartbreak kid for Navratilova yesterday, breaking her 7 of 12.
Graf is so intimidating now. What happens when she goes out on the court? She gets 1 or 2 free points a game. Woo!
Second ace for Steffi Graf.
And Graf, who's improved her serve, she gets that little knee bend and really throws herself into the serve. She gets a lot of racket head speed.
That's going to mean a lot at Wimbledon. It's going to be dynamite.
Graf thought what shot in the rally was wide and angrily circles the spot. 40-30.
But Eddie Kelly signaled it was good.
Well, you mentioned the Graf strength on the faster surfaces, so can we infer that if she's going to be beaten this year in a major, it's going to be on the clay at Paris? Will that be your toughest test?
I would think so. Because the best grass court player, still in my mind, is Martina Navratilova. But there are a lot of great clay court players to give her a test at Roland Garros.
Footwork for Graf is so sensational. She's always working herself in position to hit the cannon forehand.
You can hear it. Well, listen, we'll just listen on this point. Listen to the footwork of Graf as she sets herself up looking for the forehand. Well, she didn't give us much time to hear. She was in position in a hurry for that rocket inside-out forehand.
But still, even though it was a short point, you could still hear her feet shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. Whereas other people, it's like one big step and a slide because they're diving for it.
You don't see her very often try to get cute.
Well, I don't think she got far enough to around. See how far she is? She's outside of the court and she's trying to hit it, and it's a little bit too close to her body. So she says, whoops, I got to try something else.
That was a Red Auerbach forehand. You ever see him play?
Well, it at least made her more human, didn't it? talked about the improvement of Graf, especially in her serve. Oh, no question, Natalia's forehand is much improved from the one we saw a year ago.
It is, but also that I think she's worked on her foot speed a little bit.
Break chance for the Soviet.
Wow. What a catch by Ann Himes up there.
And Steffi is just waiting, waiting, waiting. She's waiting for the perfect thing, and she just bounces it out of the court. And that's tough to do on clay.
It was headed for crocodile country.
8 rows.
We always talk about Graf's forehand so much. Well, technically, it's not a great shot, but Steffi is such a great athlete and has great eye-hand coordination that she can hit that forehand the way she does.
Ace number 3 for Graf as she ends the second game, erasing Zvereva's chance to break her, and it's 1-all in the second.
By that you mean, Joanne, it's not a great shot for a kid to copy, but it's a great shot as Steffi Graf
it's a great
hits
shot
it.
for her,
because
but
it's all hers.
Yeah.
It's distinctive.
I'm saying, technically, ooh, it's a tough one. If you said, well, I want that forehand, Dad, and Dad's saying, sorry, I don't know how to teach that.
You'd have to sell your soul for it.
Now, after losing a chance to break Graf, she had the one break point in the last game. Let's see how Zvereva holds together in this service game. Whoops.
Whoa.
Badly double faults, her third of the match. She's held serve only once. That was the opening game of this set.
Pretty close.
Zvereva, I like the way she plays. Just inside the baseline, picking the ball up off the court as soon as it lands, ping-ponging it back.
Well, it's definitely the way to play against Graf. Pretty close.
15-30.
A few whistles from the other side of the court, but the ball was wide.
And Zvereva, you notice, she is really going for the lines. It's because she's playing Steffi Graf, who is a mover out there.
Well, Steffi Graf from Brühl, West Germany. That's about 10 miles from Heidelberg. It's where they grow that delicious white asparagus. West Germany. Big fields of it up there.
That was a terrific half-volley lob by Graf.
30-40.
Well, she is so complete, and what is frightening for the entire world of women's tennis is that you know she's even going to get better as she matures.
She's not Steffi Graf, she's Steady Grief.
Deuce.
But one thing, the players that dominate, Martina dominated, Chris dominated, Billie Jean, Maureen Conley, all those players brought the level of play up with them.
As she brought up Sanchez yesterday, that might have been the best match Sanchez ever played. Toy line forehand.
Zvereva.
She just kept that ball back deep. Steffi didn't really get a chance to step in and club it.
Oh, no bounce at all.
Deuce.
Catching her breath, Zvereva, 2 long, tough points.
Ball hit the service line and flattened out immediately.
Tough when you got to play the service line as well as Steffi Graf.
Yeah.
Graf looking for the forehand now on the second ball. Behind the baseline. Zvereva again battling, trying to stay on serve. It's 1-all in the second. Graf took the first set 6-1.
Watch for the runaround return.
Deuce.
And this shows that Graf has a lot more than just a big forehand. She has great shot selection.
Well, she's beautiful to watch. Her movement, Graf, it's just, he's got ballet talent.
Advantage Graf.
And that was a tired backhand. It could be Zvereva being pressed so hard by Graf, having to think through every shot, hit as hard as Graf is wearing down.
It's a mental as well as a physical problem. Ooh!
Pinned that one on both lines for her second ace.
Now here's where Zvereva has trouble winning a point on her second serve.
Across the line.
Advantage Graf.
Well, over her first 3 matches that she played, when she doesn't get her first serve in, she wins less than half of the points on her second serve.
Another line for Graf. And Graf breaks. Zvereva takes the lead 2-1. Up a set. Family Circle Finals. Well, we had some morning drizzle here in South Carolina. As you know, here in the South, they've been bothered by weather. Evidence the Masters yesterday nearby Augusta, just a little over 100 miles away. We've been lucky enough to get the semifinal play in yesterday and the finals today. Coming into this championship this week, they're the top 10 women players on the computer. Gabriela Sabatini, a winner last week, not entered in this championship, nor is 8-time champion of the Family Circle Cup Chris Evert, Sukova, Shriver, Garrison, Maleva, Zvereva 9th, and Katerina Maleva, the 2 Maleva girls in the top 10.
And beginning next year, the women's circuit will be under a new banner. Post Serials. Captain Edie McGoldrick has been chosen to direct the circuit. Not as drastic a change as the men's, with the Association of Tennis Pros staging a revolution to take over men's tennis, but a new overall banner for the women.
Graf serving with a lead, 2-1 in the second. Won the opener 6-1. First double fault.
And Zvereva saying, could you do that when
3 more times.
I have an ad?
So that Graphic 53-1 set wins for Graf. The only time she's lost to Chris Evert in the first set at the Slims of Florida at Boca Raton.
15 all.
On clay.
Now Zvereva
Is that hard court? That was hard court.
has been lamenting the prize money situation. That I mentioned at the top. She said, only pride keeps me going now. She said, they really should let us have our prize money, or at least most of it. And of course, she's right. And perhaps some bureaucrat in the Soviet Federation will catch up with Glasnost soon.
Sounded like she broke a string on that one.
Yeah, it did.
40.
Yeah.
Or she broke a racket.
And
No,
she
she broke
did.
a string.
Yeah. She broke a string yesterday when Martina Navratilova served, and it just showed the way things were going for Martina. She hit a winner by breaking a string.
Well, that's a footnote to that match yesterday, and Zvereva showing a little sense of humor, playing with the crowd. Boom.
It's a big backhand. And you can see at the top of her racket, the strings popped out.
40-15.
Game Graf.
3-1 Graf in the second. Up a set. Just to add that little footnote on beating Martina yesterday, that's no mean feat for Zvereva, because only Graf, Evert, Sukova, Shriver, Manlikova, 5 others have beaten Martina in the career 3 times. So she joined select company at 17.
And all of those players are still playing, and Tracy Austin was the only other one who she's sort of semi-playing, semi-not. But she was another one who had
3 wins.
3 wins.
Serve and volley. First of the day. How nice to see.
Not perfect looking, but it works. She comes in, and she's facing the net and swinging away. Goes in for a winner.
She's thoughtful today. She's varying the pattern of play. She's making errors, but she's giving Graf a lot of different things to think about.
30-15.
The best Soviet showing in this tournament. The national coach for the Soviets, Olga Morozova, was a quarterfinalist here in 1974 and a semifinalist in 75, losing to Ivan Gulagang, then Martina Navratilova.
We talked about Zvereva's backhand talent. She has only 4 winners off that wing and 13 unforced errors today, and that's just the pressure from Graf. Oh,
Run around.
That is some kind of great footwork by Steffi Graf. And you can see she's on her toes right away, and she's outside the doubles alley hitting that winner forehand.
So Zvereva
30-40.
at 30-40, a point away from losing her serve for the 5th time in 6 service games. Service winner.
Great serve by Zvereva.
Deuce.
Tried to do too much there.
Well, you notice I was watching how far each player had to run. Zvereva had to run a lot further to go back over to the forehand.
Game Graf.
And Zvereva broken again. We'll return to our coverage of the 1989 Family Circle Cup after these messages from your local station.
Graf leads 4-1.
Of Landon Turner, Sunday on the Sports Machine.
Welcome back. Graf with another forehand winner. 7 points from the championship.
You can blame Graf if you missed that first point, because she just trots out there well ahead of the 90 seconds, and she wants to play. And you can't stop her.
But don't you think that would be a smart move for some player, maybe a bit of gamesmanship, but to really slow her down?
Oh, I'd sit there until the umpire said you must play. I wouldn't let Graf dictate it. Oh!
And Steffi Graf just does everything. Lob volleying over Zvereva's head, and no chance for Zvereva.
30 love.
Graf does. She pushes the line sweepers out of the way to get to the service line.
40 love.
Actually, Bud, one player has tried that. Pam Schreiber. She waited the whole 90 seconds, practically the whole 30 seconds on her serve. I mean, she really took her time.
And she's the last player to beat Graf in the Virginia Slims Championship.
Graf holds at love. And now it's Zvereva serving at 1-5 in the second to stay in this championship.
Well, we've got women's tennis. It's kind of appropriate because in Baltimore they're having a party for the highly respected University of Maryland women's coach Ray Bender, who's retiring, and they're watching this tournament.
Well, they're watching in San Diego as well, and congratulations to the U.S. Davis Cup team, winning their first 3 matches against the French, and a doubles win last night. Exciting. Flack and Seguso beating Noah and Forget. So congratulations. The U.S. will move on the next round against either West Germany or Czechoslovakia.
Whoa.
4th double fault.
I was going to say that Zvereva has competed much better than she has in the past against Graf, especially at the French Open, to name one, where it was 6-love, 6-love. She really has tried different tactics the whole match and not given up.
Second serve.
Has to be disheartening. She has played much better, and yet here she is about to lose 6-1 and 1.
Well, her serve has really let her down here.
3 match points. Championship points for Steffi Graf,
Love 40.
who continues to just sprint by the competition. She goes for 27 in a row this year.
Look how fresh Graf looks returning serve.
Game, set, and match. Graf.
Appropriately with a blistering forehand, Steffi Graf, Family Circle Cup champion 1989, 6-1, 6-1. Now, we started today by showing you Graf's first ever pro title. It was right here exactly 3 years ago when she beat Chris Evert. And with her haste in winning today, we're going to have time to show you some of that match. I think you'll enjoy seeing the comparison of Graf here at championship point with that incredible forehand power of hers and measuring it against what she was like 3 years ago. Obviously already a great blossoming talent, but she's so much bigger and stronger and so much more complete now. The best in the world, Steffi Graf, adding a punctuation point again at Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. 6-1, 6-1. We'll be right back. We'll meet her with Bud Collins. Well, it was the first big payday for the women in this game, 1973, and Rosie Casals won the initial Family Circle Cup here at Hilton Head Island. And today, Steffi Graf, for the third time, is champion. She won the last 10 points en route to a 6-1, 6-1 victory over Natalia Zvereva. And we understand that Steffi Graf, after the trophy presentation, will join us. It'll be fun to get her comments regarding today and 3 years ago when she won her first of now 35 pro championships. Now let's go down to center court and Bud Collins.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we want to say to Natalia Zvereva, хорошо. She played wonderfully in this tournament. And I think undoubtedly one day there will be a tablet or a marker out here to Stephanie Maria Graf, to whom we would say wunderbar, because this is where she won her first title 3 years ago. Did you think then that she would become #1, win the quintessential quintuple, the Grand Slam, plus the Olympic gold medal? What a year, 1988, Steffi. There are rewards and awards that go along with this sort of thing. David Axney, the President, Chief Operating Officer of the Sea Pines Company, to present the runners-up prize.
Ms. Zvereva, on behalf of the Sea Pines Plantation Company and Sea Pines Associates, our parent, I offer you our congratulations on a wonderful week of tennis, and thank you for being a part of this group of outstanding players that brings the best of women's tennis in the world here to Sea Pines. And here is your check as runner-up, an amount of $24,000. Congratulations.
Thank you, David. And Family Circle magazine, which really started the money rolling into women's tennis and has made this game one of the major sports in the United States. Jack Jones and Johnny Moreno back in 1973. Where are they? They're back here somewhere. There's Jack Jones. Moreno's counting the money somewhere. And what a breakthrough that was for women. Family Circle and $100,000. The editor-in-chief of Family Circle magazine, Jackie Leo, to present the Winners Awards.
Thank you, Bud. Thank you. Thank you all for coming to Family Circle Cup 17, which, by the way, is almost the average age of our two finalists today. These young women, along with every professional on this tour, continue to prove that athletic achievement for women knows no bounds, and this cup is a testament to that achievement. On behalf of Family Circle, I'd like to thank the WITA and Merritt Sterheim, Sea Pines Plantation, and all the players and fans who have been with us this week. Now, Steffi Graf, I'm proud to present you with the Family Circle Cup.
You have more.
More. This is the big money, $60,000 for Steffi from this cup. Congratulations again.
There is more, Steffi. Candace Robbins and Dora Nowicki of Chevrolet. What do you have, ladies?
Well, Chevrolet would like to add to the congratulations to you on your victory here today
And on behalf of the Heartbeat of America, we'd like to present to you the key, although you'll have a tough time fitting it in the ignition, this one, to a new 1989 S10 Blazer.
I know you'd like to hear from these women, and you'll remember this day because Natalia yesterday, in beating the #2 player in the world, Martina Navratilova, the defending champion, made a breakthrough. She'd done that in Paris before. Natalia, we want to congratulate you. You've made a lot of friends here. You know, the last Soviet player to do so well was your present coach, Olga Morozova, who was a semifinalist here in 1975. But it wasn't a great day today because of this woman standing here next to you. What makes it so difficult to play against Steffi Graf?
Oh, God. That's a very simple question, you know. She's so strong, I mean, in every way of playing tennis. That's why.
You said it better than Joanne Russell, Dick Enberg, and I could say it in one sentence.
I know.
And why is it that you have become one of the top 10 players and are going to become even better? What are you going to do?
I'll be working on my game and wish that my federation, I mean tennis federation, would change something, you know what I mean, and, well, she would change something and
You would like them to pay you the money you've just won, is that correct?
Right, yeah. This 24,000, it's not money, just a paper. You know, it's not money. I didn't see that.
Well, Natalia's right, you know, because the money does go to the Soviet Federation, and what do they send back? Soap or what?
Actually, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, if Comrade Gorbachev is watching, perhaps he'll widen Glasnost to see that you get your prize money. We all hope so. Spasiba.
Thank you.
Steffi, you've won every one of 27 matches you've played this year, so it's kind of hard to improve on perfection. But what is it you want as #1 in tennis now? What is it you want from your game?
I want to enjoy it. You know, I just I'm trying to play as good as possible and really enjoy it and love the tennis.
Are you consciously trying to get another Grand Slam? It would never have been done 2 successive years.
Well, I know that, but I'm not trying for it again. I just didn't try it last year. I just took every tournament and every match like it came, and it just turned out to be such an incredible year. And so far, well, it's all right too. I mean, I just have to see.
That was the word for it, incredible, and you are incredible. Danka, now back to you, Dick.
All right, Bud. George Burnsian, oh God, was the answer from Natalia Zvereva. That was a very charming interview and very open. I hope she isn't in trouble with her countrymen about her comments. And we'll meet with Steffi Graf in a moment, and busy as usual on Sunday, all the Sunday sports from Jimmy Cefalo after this. Shots of Harbor Town. We're live back at Sea Pines Plantation. A lot of wildlife here, and it's interesting that that is one of Steffi Graf's causes, the National Wildlife Fund, and she has another $60,000 to perhaps share in part with that good cause. We go back 3 years. At that time, this young German maiden who was showing all kinds of potential playing Chris Evert. We're in the second set. Chris Evert Lloyd then serving at 4-3. Sellout crowd thoroughly entertained as young Steffi Graf. Again, to repeat what we offered at the very start of the match today, Steffi Graf was less than 1 year old when Chris Evert Lloyd beat Margaret Court back in 1970. And here she is trying to defeat Chris Evert Lloyd win her first pro title. Graf has won the last 3 games and continues to battle from the baseline.
And here's Steffi Graf's slice backhand. Notice how she gets the racket head up high and goes low. She's got a nice, solid slice. She never varies.
When I said, can Chris hold her off, I was starting to get the feeling that this kid was playing Chris stroke for stroke for stroke for stroke and was a little quicker and was starting to believe she could win it.
Well, it's a huge game. Chris Evert-Lloyd needs to hold to go up 5-3. Should Graf break her again, it's 4-all, and then you really have to think that this is the day for the 16-year-old. Rare unforced error from Chris to make it 30-all.
And Chrissy has said many times she doesn't have the patience of old. She doesn't like rallies this long anymore. They used to be her meat.
Just long.
40-30.
And you can see the spring left in Steffi's Graf's legs. Look how far she is on the backhand side to get to that forehand. And she really does hit it well. In fact, she hits it better from the backhand side than she does from the forehand side.
Three straight forehands from Graf, and 2 of those that inside-out cross court, and boy, the ball does jump off her racket from that forehand side. Four-3 deuce, second set. Graf up a set. Wide.
Lloyd. Break point Graf, a point away from 4-all.
Now, what Steffi's done with her forehand here is, for the first set and a half, Steffi has gone, she's run around the backhand and gone back to Chris's backhand. Now, last 2 points, she's gone down the line to Chris's forehand.
Gets a second ball. Chris again. 4 straight games won by Steffi Graf, and they're even in the second set. Suddenly, it is Everett Lloyd making the unforced errors, and Steffi Graf down 4-love in this set.
And the old standby that Chris uses is play steady, and that is not good enough against Steffi Graf.
Kid believes now. She is scaling that Himalayan peak of the mind. The psychological heights of Chris Evert.
Watch Steffi Graf's forehand. Chris tries a drop shot, and it's a good one, but Steffi gets there in plenty of time and has a lot of zip behind that ball.
That point, like the last 4 games, Graf just playing flawlessly.
Well, she's in a groove now. Chris has not mixed it up enough. She's played her backhand too much. She's got to go to her forehand.
Well, this is a rare experience for all of us to see the champion Everett Lloyd being out-hit.
Seeing a great champion on the way, perhaps to her first victory. A future great champion.
Late call. Graf has held, and when we return, it's Chris Everett Lloyd serving to stay in it. As any parent could attest, I'm sure things are rumbling much more angrily inside that man, Father Peter Graf, than the daughter, Steffi, who is now a game away from her first ever Pro Championship.
And to win it over Everett Lloyd, the dream, 4 points distant.
The only time that John Lloyd's wife has lost here in this tournament, in her 10 tournaments, Family Circle, was to Andrea Jaeger in 1982. Jaeger was 16 at the time.
Well, at least Chris started differently this match. She won the first point. Last 3 service games, she's been down love 15, so maybe it'll be different this game.
There, Chris was looking for that forehand back to her backhand, and Graf drilling it down the line. 2 points from victory.
30 all.
Now, that's not really a bad forehand because she was going for it. If it was a nervous in the net kind of forehand, oh, she's in trouble. But she's still going for the line.
Chrissy must have hit the back edge of the baseline tape.
And she did. Steffi was pretty surprised. And look, she waits to the last minute. And right there, she is on top of that ball. She's going to make a good volley.
A point away from 5-all in the second set. What would be all the more remarkable should Graf win this game and the match would be that she would run off 6 consecutive games against Chris Evert Lloyd, who had the 4-love lead in this set.
Evert Lloyd's backhand has gotten shorter and shorter and shorter.
No question as to the more aggressive player at this point.
Evert Lloyd.
The defending champion, Evert Lloyd, playing cautiously, conservatively.
Well, that style has won her a lot of matches. And Steffi's a newcomer, and she can afford to go for it.
Only 1,114.
Chris Evert Lloyd holds.
Good ball, please. Evert Lloyd,
so the string of 5 straight games ends for Steffi Graf. It's 5-all in the second.
2 points away she was on 2 occasions.
Quiet, please.
This is a war of attrition now, and Graf is fresher, swifter. But will her nerves hold?
$30 love.
30 love.
Yeah, there are many questions, I'm sure, in the minds of those who watch here at the Sea Pines Racket Club. One, what happens if it should go a third? And one of the questions in my mind is what happens to young Steffi Graf should she win today, does that push her, vault her into more international prominence, or will she be like all the rest of the teenagers that seem to fade after a promising win? Big ace. When we return, Chris Evert Lloyd will serve to stay in it. Well, we asked rhetorically 3 years ago what would happen if Steffi Graf should win her first pro title. Well, today she has won her 35th championship since then, and she's with us live here at Hilton Head Island, the Sea Pines Plantation. It's got to be kind of fun, like looking through your old picture album, to see yourself from 3 years ago. Anything strike you immediately that's different as you look at yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching for like 3 games, and I couldn't believe how patient I was, and you know, I don't think I could do it now, and it just seems different now. You were patient, lobbing the ball back and forth at times. We don't see that very often. Let's go back. This is the match game where you finally beat Chris Evert Lloyd, as she was then married, here at Sea Pines Plantation. Here you are in the near court. How about the forehand? Do you feel you've improved to that side? That's your strength? Yes, definitely. I've gotten stronger forehand, and as well as I think that I'm much more going for the shot. Still, I'm waiting for the right moment, but I can have a little bit more variety once in a while to put a drop shot in, or, you know, when I need to, I can put more power in than at that time. That's why my serve has gotten better, that's for sure. Using almost entirely the slice off the backhand, you've improved going over the top from that wing. Yeah, definitely. I have a lot more topspin variety in it, and you know, especially if somebody comes in, I have at least a chance to do something different than just slice it. And that was very important, especially as players as Martina, Pam Shriver, and the ones who really come into net. I needed that shot. And at that time, I don't think I really had it at all. Well, there was pressure on you at 16 to win your first tournament. I know you felt that, and you got rid of that pressure, but it's a whole different kind of pressure you face now as the best in the world, and everyone's saying, who's going to beat you? Can you win the Grand Slam again? How do you ignore those very tough questions and the reality of being so good? I think it was much harder at that time because I was number 3 in the world, and I've never won finals, and I've been there 6 times, and everybody's saying, how can she be there, you know, never won one. So I was just, I mean, it's such a different thing now. You know, I thought more pressure then as it is now. It's just, I've done everything I can, and it's just now whatever comes. I've been the number 1, I've done the Grand Slam. Whatever comes, it's just an extra. All right, let's look at the 3 left this year Grand Slam titles. 1 on clay at Roland Garros, 1 on the grass at Wimbledon, the hard courts at the U.S. Open. We were chatting here during the course of your win today. Which one would be toughest for you to win? Which one do you think would be the most difficult? Every single one. JOANNE, oh, come on, pick one. Well, I would say then, sure, it's still a Wimbledon, because Martina's still very strong on that surface, and I don't have that much experience yet, even if I've been winning it last year and been in the finals before, but still, probably this is the toughest one, probably, because there's so many players who can play well on that surface. All right, here you come, closing out your win against Chris Evert. Kind of nice to know that the very first pro title was against such a great champion. Definitely, and I remember when I was talking to Bud before the final, and we were sitting together and had a talk, and I was saying, oh, I don't think I can do it this
2
one.
points
I mean,
from victory. Just
crazy, Mattia's still too strong, and then the same tournament I win against her, so that was a little bit funny there. Your thoughts about the woman you beat today, young Zvereva? Do you see her getting better and better? Oh yes, and you could see the difference last year's final in Paris, and you know, she didn't really have anything to really hurt me at all. I didn't feel that she had any, you know, shots to put me under pressure, and I thought now she has a better serve, and she really goes more for the shots and comes in between. She has, you know, she's somebody who really plays with the head tennis, and we could see against Martina, she played such a great match, and you know, she really is getting stronger, definitely. Oh, here's match point for you, Steffi. You remember whether you win this point? I don't. I would say I don't win it. I think it's the next one, but I'm not sure.
Patience, you say. You're surprised at your patience.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, this is the one I win. That's the one. Yeah, getting into the net.
Yeah, the Canada almost a blush of victory. We almost seemed, oh, did it really finally happen? And of course, your dad's sharing with you, and thank you very much for the extra time. Good luck at Amelia Island. We'll see you in Paris.
Okay, bye-bye.
Best in the world, Steffi Graf.